You're listening to the Otaku Network podcast. My name is Steve.
I'm David.
We're into week 5 of the 2026 winter anime season. I'm just going to lay it out there right away. This was the best week of these episodes so far.
Holy shit.
Episode 5 of Journal with Witch hits really hard. We start off with Asa having a dream about her mother and waking up to sadness. We know that she cannot run away from her feelings any longer. It's not working. They're starting to invade her reality. As Asa is trying to figure out what club to join in school, she gets a call from her grandmother. Much to Makio's disinterest, seeing as it's been 5 years since she's been home, they go to pay Grandma a visit. Asa can tell right away that Makio is not interested in dealing with Grandma, and she declines the offer for tea and snacks, and instead goes to do some cleaning out of her room. Makio is struggling with the way she's projecting her distaste for her sister and her annoyance for her mother onto Asa. Asa is struggling with conflicting messages throughout her life between both her mother and from Makio, but primarily through the way that her mother raised her. And this feels like a part of her mother that makes Makio hate her. Asa's mother is shown a number of times encouraging Asa to live her life for herself, and then countering that by being critical of Asa's choices. And from the flashbacks we've seen of her mother interacting with Makio, it appears that Makio dealt with the same thing. So both of the women can probably begin moving forward if they both understand that they're coming partially from the same point of contention with Asa's mother and how it affected their development and self-worth. Things kind of come to a head when an inheritance lawyer named Tono tracks down Makio. He's been trying to call Makio. Makio doesn't recognize the number, just ignores it, and is kind of doing her thing. He ends up coming to their house, putting Makio in a state because Makio doesn't like dealing with anybody when she's not prepared for it. And the lawyer brings up a concerning charge on Asa's estate account that Makio claims ignorance of. And the lawyer starts browbeating her about it until the point in the conversation becomes so strenuous that Asa finally speaks out and admits that she withdrew that money to purchase a laptop because she wants to start trying to make music on the laptop. And being the realistic teenager she is, the reason she did this and hid this, not thinking that she'd get caught for it, is because she was afraid that if she actually asked her guardian, Makio, to do this, she would be told no, purely based upon her history with her mother and telling her she can do everything she wants, and then pretty much telling her that she can't do whatever she wants. This blow-up feels like it's a good step in the direction of Asa understanding that the life she had with her parents and the rigidity of it and the claustrophobia of it, at least when it comes to self-expression and growth, isn't necessarily going to be the same way living with Makio. Even if Makio has gone back on the things she's told her before, like the incident where Asa got really upset during graduation and left, and Makio kind of chided her for not being honest about what was going on, and then she threw it back into her face of the statement of, no one else needs to know how you feel. So that kind of wounded Asa, and maybe this incident will help her to get over that wound and get her closer to being more comfortable with Makio. Now we just got to work on Makio and getting rid of the stigma that Asa's mother has ingrained into her through years and years and years of terrible interactions and not project that on Asa.
Yes.
That's kind of the episode. And it was really good.
It was very good.
Oh my God.
Very, very good. I enjoyed all of the interactions that were going on in this episode.
The deep dive into the exploration of self and the value of one's own worth, primarily Asa, in her journey of adolescence and understanding who she is and how she wants the world to see her. I liked the scene at the end when Kasamichi was hanging out and just trying to comfort Makio, or maybe comfort himself as well. And they invited Asa to join them on the couch because they were watching a program that a band was performing, and Makio had recognized that Asa had liked that song. And Asa's expression when she came out of the room into the living room to see these two adults being affectionate of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me think that her mother was, I mean, in broad terms, at least in public and around people that, you know, you don't have close relationships, there's not really a lot of outward affection in Japan. I mean, that's a very broad statement that I know is wrong, but the overall idea is that, you know,
Public displays of affection.
yeah, it's kind of a frowned upon thing societally in some cases. I don't know how strong that is nowadays with the changing in mentality with the youth culture, but it feels like with that scene that Asa had not really experienced seeing affection between her parents. And oh my God, we found out that she witnessed the aftermath of their car accident.
Yup.
Oh, that's a level of trauma I wasn't anticipating.
Yup.
The fact that their smart car was just crushed in between two trucks.
They were people pancakes.
Makio, the girl needs a therapist. Like, stat.
Very convenient.
Yeah.
Inconvenient, I should say.
The level of trauma that this girl is dealing with is...
astronomical.
I can't wait till the next episode. This episode was so good, I almost rewatched it. But I'm sure the story is going to end in a very positive note. It's just the journey of heartache that's going to be on the road to that positive ending. Now to switch gears completely, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, Episode 4.
It hit the fan this week. After speaking with Tengen and everyone receiving their missions of sorts, Maki is off to deal with the Zenin clan under Fushiguro's orders to obtain all of their cursed items. However, all is not well with the Zenin clan, as one, they're a bunch of pieces of shit, and I hate the Zenin clan, and they basically continue to treat her like garbage in every interaction she has. So she does what any sane person would do and march down to the vault, heeding none of the warnings or pleads to not proceed with this. She makes it into the Zenin vault using the key that was given to her by Fushiguro, and the vault's empty, minus her father and her sister Mai, who is critically wounded. Maki engages in a one-on-one sword fight using her cursed sword and her father using his cursed technique channeled through his sword, and she ultimately forgets that he is not just a swordsman and loses after breaking his sword because he uses his cursed technique to basically keep the length of his blade the same as it was, just using cursed energy instead of metal blade. He drags his two wounded daughters, who he continues to call shames and a disgrace upon the family. Jujutsu sorcery and Jujutsu society in general frowns upon twins, as the energy cannot differentiate that the twins are two separate people and view them as one person. And usually it will be split between the two of them, and only after one of them dies will the other one receive all of the cursed energy that they were supposed to receive. As the two are dying on the floor, and their father basically lets them be fed to a bunch of level 2 cursed spirits, Mai sacrifices herself through her little bit of cursed energy to save Maki and basically turn Maki into what Toji was. She goes sicko mode and cuts the top of her dad's head off, and then absolutely decimates the Zenin's private military, if you will, Kill Bill style, which was very entertaining. And then she actually ends up murdering almost all of the Zenin clan. Actually, she murders the whole Zenin clan, minus Fushiguro.
She didn't do the finishing blow to Naoya.
Right, but her mother was the one that did that. She even cuts down her own mother and beats the living shit out of Naoya, which was very satisfying. I love that they rubbed into the fact that he got his ass beat by having that replay like 4 times. I giggled every time it rewound and slammed him back into the ground again.
Classic anime 3-take.
Normally I don't like the 3-take, but holy shit, that was satisfying watching him eat shit. It actually kind of fit because of how his cursed technique works. He's like using frames to do it, so I thought it was justified. But yeah, he ends up getting oofed by Maki's mother, who kills him for being a misogynistic piece of shit. And yeah, a new equivalent to Toji Fushiguro has been awoken in Maki Zenin. And we get a little blurb telling us that the rest of the Zenin clan that was not present that day due to either being on assignment or illness, were murdered. And yeah,
The Zenin clan is technically no more in the eyes of the
Jujutsu Society,
yeah.
yes. Because the Gojo clan and the Kamo clan both moved to have them removed as one of the top 3 sorcerer clans.
Yeah, because most of the family is wiped out.
Correct. But if you noticed, the society motioned to have that tabled because there might still be one Zenin that's still on the council. Just because it's nearly impossible to try to get to that one because the council is hard to reach. But basically, Maki completed and did what Toji refused to do back when he was alive, being a heavenly restricted
Weapon.
a weapon to wipe out the Zenin clan.
Yeah, pretty much. I really liked the first half of the episode. I loved the art house aesthetic and feel of it. The journey of destruction and transformation of Maki as she's facing her family. The rest of it, I didn't necessarily like, and I think it's because of how cheap the sequencing felt, how limited the animation was, and how kind of weird some of it was. The first half was beautiful in many aspects. Given that I don't have any knowledge of 70s exploitation Japanese filmology, I can't say that this is necessarily inspired by Kill Bill because Kill Bill was inspired by those movies as well.
Yeah.
So I would say that this is more inspired by the same movies that inspired Kill Bill. But for brevity and Western culture, the Kill Bill scene, it could have been more of a spectacle. And it really was not a spectacle. And I'm kind of disappointed by that and felt that they were cutting a lot of corners in that whole segment. I wanted it to be more visceral.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I didn't like the directing choices.
I liked the cuts in the animation. I felt it very much matched and mirrored a lot of those high action 70s ching and then
Yeah, but it was missing the blood in all respects.
there's blood fucking everywhere. What do you want?
Not truly. Not really. There were scenes where she was lopping off people's hands and all it was just a red circle where their hand was. The amount of blood you get is in the end when all of a sudden you're like, oh, the entire floor is blood, and then that guy shows up with the curse technique with the hands and claps it and tries to squish her and all the blood pours out. But I don't know, it just seemed tame and weird and like they were cutting corners with the animation.
I don't think they were cutting corners. I think that was a
It felt like
stylistic choice.
I think
The fact that it was in that black and white.
not even that, but some of the character drawings looked really low quality.
Gege does that on purpose.
This isn't Gege. This is...
They're matching how he draws.
It could have been a lot better. And what's with Maki looking like she's about to join Kenshiro in Fists of the North Star? Has she always been that swole? Have I missed that? She looked real weird at certain points in that battle.
That is just her basically getting amped up on the cursed energy that she didn't have.
Okay.
A lot of times, a very sudden surge of cursed energy will buff up your muscles. They come back down after that initial surge.
Sure.
It's very much like a DBZ power up where and your muscles.
I don't know. I just felt there were a lot of inconsistencies in the whole segment of her wiping out her family. I applaud her wiping out her family. I just think it could have been done better. I really, really, really liked the first half. I was like, this is the greatest episode of JJK I've ever seen. And then that turned out not to be as cool. I was like, ugh, what are they doing? Why are they making these choices? Oh well.
Let's talk about an anime that we both said we enjoyed this week.
My Hero Academia Vigilantes episode 5.
We open with Aizawa and the cop guy talking about how
Makoto's brother. We're
talking about how there has been a surge in unexplained trigger use after college students have been at mixers.
Yeah, mixers.
Yeah. College mixers.
Group dating experiences.
So, Aizawa, not being one to enjoy or even care to try to enjoy going to any of these or investigating these, tells Maki's brother that he knows somebody that will love to do this. And so we cut to Miss Midnight, the R-rated hero, as they call her,
Yeah.
recruiting Popstep to infiltrate a mixer that Koichi was invited to.
By the rock band that's part of the whole
pop
promo thing for
Yes.
the department store.
Yes. So Koichi is there, unknowing of Popstep and Miss Midnight being there.
They're in
deep cover.
Deep cover.
And so they're investigating this party where Koichi is the dull rock, and the two girls besides Miss Midnight. And
the reason they're there is because the research and all the incidents, they've kind of pinpoint a specific girl
Yes.
that they want to figure out
yes.
what's going on and why she's at all of them.
And yeah, we get this very hilarious interaction where the target ends up getting drunk. We find out that she is not actually the one distributing any of the trigger. Koichi swoops in to save the day, making the actual girl that was distributing the trigger really jealous, and Pop Step, all while Miss Midnight is like chugging beers and keeping the band members entertained. We get a trigger outbreak because this girl spikes everybody's drinks because her friend gets all the attention and she never gets any. Very entertaining. We get Miss Midnight using her powers to knock out every man and that girl in the restaurant.
This was the most not revealing she was I've seen the entire time I've known of her character's existence.
Yeah, but still, Jesus.
I mean, there's reasons for that.
But I do really like her because she's very entertaining.
She was a fun character. She was a good character this episode.
She's great. She's fun. Weird. She's like normally like that. Even though she's like totally the fan service hero.
Yeah.
She's always funny, well written, like a strong woman in this anime.
Excellent.
Like, I love it. Every
Good to
time
hear.
she shows up, I'm just like, pop off, queen. Be strong in your sexuality. That resolves. And then we get the return of the master.
We get a whole other story, pretty much.
Exactly. We get the return of the master. So in Hong Kong, a hooded figure who looks kind of like a bum rolls into what
Kind
can
of?
only be described as a drug den. Through much Chinese translation into Japanese, into English, because they didn't have subtitles in the English dub, so I had to switch to the Japanese dub.
Oh, yeah.
Or sub, I mean.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. Anyway, we get and find out that Knuckle Duster is Overclock or O'Clock or however many different aliases that superhero has. The guy that the villain reveres.
Yeah.
So
Which explains the scar.
exactly. So we now have a ton of interlocking characters here, with the fact that Knuckle Duster, as Knuckle Duster, taught Koichi and Pop Step how to be vigilantes, and now we have this villain who at one point was trying to be a hero with O'Clock in his superhero form and is now turned to villainy. And so
He probably doesn't even, I mean, according to the apothecary that he was shaking down, everybody thinks that O'Clock is dead.
Yes.
But in reality, he lost his powers to
All for one. Yes. That wasn't explicitly stated in the show,
They
but
hedged around it. And if you know anything
if you know
about
anything
All for
about
One,
All for One, yes.
then you know what he does.
So yes, All for One has now been kind of introduced into the plot line of this story. I don't think he's going to be a major plot line, but
No,
we know,
I couldn't see that.
We know now that Knuckle Duster is going to be back, at least in some way, shape, or form, and
Yeah.
involved with the story.
He's definitely not revealing his presence to Koichi yet.
Even though Koichi was like, "Was that Master up there?"
Nah, it couldn't be. He's got a beard. And then you're forgetting the really good part. Knuckle Duster's daughter is still recovering in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
And those three dumbasses have become friends with her and are just hanging out trying to encourage her through her recovery and
Yeah.
grief
Yeah,
and
no.
trauma.
The three idiots
Yeah, the lizard
Have
kid,
become-
the spiky boy.
and then the fire guy
Yeah.
have all become friends with Knuckle Duster's daughter. He has also kind of just tasked them with keeping an eye on her. Because, I mean, they were hired by him anyway to try to find her.
Yep.
To see her happy,
Kind of.
kind of, and like being a kid again and not under the possession of those bees
Yeah.
is awesome to see.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that she's recovering, and I hope that she continues to be a part of the story. I would like to see her and Knuckle Duster be able to reconcile and be a family again.
Okay, so we're thinking that Knuckle Duster's current life takes place after he is theoretically killed as one of the first-gen heroes.
Probably.
So she can be real mad if she finds that out, that everything is a lie.
Potentially.
Yeah.
It Because I don't think she knows that he was O'Clock.
I don't think anybody knows.
Well, obviously, none of the younger generation know that he's O'Clock.
No.
I don't even think like Aizawa or.
I don't think so.
Which is funny because Aizawa's like, I never met the guy. Yes, you have.
Yeah, but not in the capacity of superhero work because Aizawa's too young.
Watching the
preview.
I think we're getting Aizawa's
backstory.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes, I'm in. I'm 100%.
I'm in for that too.
I want to see young Aizawa. I want to see him going to
Jujutsu High School.
Jujutsu High School, yeah. And just I want to see it. I'm in. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Which I think he went to school with Miss Midnight too. So
I like how the show is comfortable not focusing on its primary characters.
Yes.
So far, it's done it in a good way. In a way that makes sense for the narrative that it's trying to tell. And it's great to have Knuckle Duster back.
I like that they show up when the plot needs to be driven forward, but exploring a lot of this like side, not even side at this point, the main crime that's going on in this series with the trigger stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like seeing the actual like police work going on. It's kind of fun.
Well, and they've been building this whole historicity with everything that's happening.
And the fact that like Koichi and Popstep are kind of in the background this season.
They're trying to lay low.
And I feel like that storyboard fits with the fact that they're not really the central focus of
They're not
season.
trying to Batman this shit.
Exactly. And I think it's beautiful storytelling to like, they need to lay low so the story isn't focusing on them as hard.
No, it's been really good. This season is outperforming the first season, I feel.
A lot.
But
yeah.
we couldn't be here without all of the ground laid by season 1, which did a really good job of it.
Exactly. Season 1 walked so season 2 could run.
Yeah. And it's been, aside from episode 2, it's been doing a really good job of it. Yeah, no, this has been a great week. Journal with a Witch was a really powerful story about self-worth and understanding your place in your world.
JJK remembered it was an action series.
I really liked the first half. I was disappointed in decisions in the second half, but I'm glad the Zenian are dead.
Yeah. I'm just glad JJK remembered it's an action series and like actually had an action-packed episode. So I was not gonna lie, the first 3 episodes, I'm like, can we get back to being like an action story, please?
Stop talking and kill.
Come on, do the thing.
I liked the unexpected way they did the whole dating group thing. I've loved that.
Yeah.
And the fact that it didn't focus on Koichi being there, it focused on Popstep and Miss Midnight being there.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming, and I loved it. And then I could tell from the title of the episode, like, oh crap, Knuckle Duster's back. But the way they brought him back in was so good.
As soon as it just smashed into him taking the hood off, I was like, oh, he's back, baby.
He's back.
The Return of the King.
Yeah. Can't wait for next week. Next week's going to be good.
God, doesn't come out fast enough. I can't be upset with this show. It continues to be like, did you like last week? Yeah. Guess what? You're going to like this week even better.
After I had watched Journal with Witch, I had doubted myself. I'm like, oh, I should have saved this for last because this was so good. And then I'm like, no, I need the pickup from My Hero Academia because I know because of how heavy Journal with Witch is. And then not knowing how I'm going to deal with Jujutsu Kaisen. Mm-hmm. Watching him in discussion order this week still proved to be the correct choice because my God, was that just a cherry on top of like, that was like, so fun.
You're like emotionally distraught from
Witch.
JJK is like,
I mean, it was intense. It was
the first half for you is you're like cool. You're like
like then, I have choice. I have issues.
And then MHA is just like, yo, Steve, we got you.
It's kind of like comfort food at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely a comfort anime.
Like it's not smart or deep or anything, but it's got fun characters and
it's just like
they're just in fun situations.
It tucked you in.
It did.
It gave you a kiss on the cheek. It went, good night, son, and you're like, good night.
Yeah, there's no nutritional value, but it tastes good.
Completely diabetes. Journal of the Witch was kind of diabetes this week.
The most diabetic show, and one of the characters even alluded to that this season is you and I are polar opposites.
I forgot to mention, I loved Aizawa's fourth wall break when he just stares at the camera and he makes the comment about these people are bad influence on me. The two brothers are like, who is he talking to? I loved that. I had to pause. I was giggling so hard.
I know I'm being too critical of Jujutsu Kaisen, but that's what I'm here for. Look, it wants to be an art house film at this point. It needs to, show up or shut up, is my opinion. All right, anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you get notified when we have videos dropping. And don't forget about our Wednesday episodes of Weekly Ranma, where we are currently going through the old OAVs from the 90s. And come and harass us on our socials. Check out our Discord channel, and we will check you guys later.